reasonable. It's 5:30, time to call the meeting to order. And I wanted to put this here. Shannon's here, Shannon,
Dan Keller's here.
and whatever his last name is.
Baracco. B-A-R-R-A-C-O.
I think that's
What is it? B-A-R-R-A-C-O?
Sounds like a thing
like
that
Barack
was his
Obama,
name.
but-
You never heard of that?
Obama's missing.
It's a mafia name.
Okay, and I want to make a slight change to the agenda. I forgot to put our mission statement. Oh, I did too, put it on here. Okay, okay, no change. Okay, a minutes review. I sent everyone the minutes to last meeting, but in short, we discussed the split rail fence that went up. We discussed the park, the hours for the park signs got posted. We talked about Doug working with George, trying to find the boundary line between the park and his property. We discussed and unanimously voted to send our mission statement to the council. We discussed the application for the America Walks grant and that we would apply for it. And we looked at the sledding hill sign, and that was it. Anybody don't agree with? Anybody have any problems with the minutes for last meeting? Okay, then. Oh, where am I? Okay, so the next meeting schedule, you guys want to keep it. You know, I have a feeling we might have to add another meeting to it. Should we just schedule our regular meeting now, and after we're done talking about the grant, we might want to stick another one on that? Is the first Thursday of the month still okay with you guys? Is 5:30 still okay with you guys?
It's always the first Wednesday of the month?
First Thursday.
Thursday.
Okay, so the next meeting will be, next scheduled meeting so far will be February, whatever the first Thursday is, what is that? What do we got?
For what? First Thursday?
First Thursday.
It would be the second. Yep, the second.
February 2. We might add another one to that based on what we talked about in the grant. And the report that we did apply for the America Walks grant. They did inform us we did not get it, but that was a huge across the nation grant, so the chances of getting that was slim to begin with.
That was the signs, right?
Yeah, that was.
We didn't get that.
Yeah.
Did the bike path get it, do you know? I think they applied for something similar.
Yes, they did apply for the same thing.
Did they get it?
I don't know, I don't think so, but I don't know. Okay, and so the projects that we're working on now is the Parks and Rec mission statement that we turned into the council. The council had a few tweaks, and I'm sorry I forgot to bring them with me, but I can almost remember them, and you probably can. The tweaks were basically from the village planner. Suggested a few things. There was something about that we have to have a majority of the members vote yes on something, not just the majority of the people at the meeting, but the majority of the whole group. So if there's 9 of us in the group, you need the majority of 9 to be a positive vote. And that should be stated so in our mission statement. So, and I'm sorry I forgot to bring that in, but that's going to be stuck in, I can stick that in there very easily. There are a couple
Is
of
that a normal thing? I've never heard of that.
Yeah, I
I
know.
mean, all of us have to vote yes, or?
No,
Oh,
the majority.
of the full.
Majority of
They're
all
all-
the
yeah,
members.
if only 4 of us come to the meeting.
Oh,
So
okay,
you-
then
so
we have to
you-
wait and find out for the other one to vote.
Well, then when you do continue the email vote, because I don't think that's appropriate manner.
Well, I'm just saying that's what LSL said to put in here, so, you know, it makes sense. It's so that 3 people show up to a meeting, and 2 of them say, yeah, we want to do this, and they got, I mean, if you don't consider all the rest of the group, you've got only 2 people passing a yes vote, which is not right.
Well, don't you need a quorum to have a meeting anyways?
I don't know that that's so with the committee. This isn't a board, it's just a committee. However, it's the LSL planning committee that knows about this kind of stuff. suggest we put that in there, it's gonna be easy to put in. The other two things that they suggested were also just similar things, they're just little tweaks to make it proper in their eyes. So I will send those out to you guys email,
Okay.
okay? And then I'll, you guys, and I'm sure everyone will be fine with it, but if you're not, let me know, and you can go to the village, your meeting is Monday, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, so it'll be back to the council by Monday, unless somebody, majority of us have an issue with that. But it won't change our mission statement at all, basically, it's just going to put those few things in there that they wanted, which I will send to you guys, and I'm sorry I didn't. And so, the Department of Natural Resources has what they call the Recreational Passport Grant. You can apply from $7,500 up to $75,000 for this grant. It does require a matching 25% from the village, but it doesn't have to necessarily be in cash. It can be in labor. It can be donated things that the community, if the cement company donates cement, the value of anything donated, all of those things can be added together to make our 25% match.
That's good.
And then the other catch with the grant is also, they pay us afterwards, they repay us.
So it's like, it's a reimbursable.
Yes, that's the word, good. Help me whenever I need it. So, but you don't have to wait till the end to get reimbursed, you can reimburse periodically through the process of doing our project. The project is for, what they typically do, let's say for 2016, they haven't got the applications out for 2017 yet. But for 2016, the Recreational Passport Grants sought funding for a broad range of public outdoor projects, including playground development and renovations, sports and fitness facility developments and improvements, trail and walkway development, park and picnic area improvements, and improved access for those with disabilities. And then you can go on the website and see exactly what all of these grants were and exactly what everybody got. And there were surrounding communities here that got new basketball courts or got them resurfaced or, a lot of areas around here got it.
And this is through the passport grant?
Yes, this is a passport grant.
Wow.
It's, last year it was only up to 40, you could only go as high as 45,000. And then when I went on and looked to see what everybody else applied for, everybody applied for that 45,000.
For the whole amount, yeah.
Yeah.
Go for the gusto.
This year it's 75,000, so it's really upped. This passport money comes from, when you guys go by your license plates and you get that little tab, that's where this money comes from.
Oh.
That money also funds other things too, but this money comes from there. So there's a lot of it. And successful applicants clearly demonstrated projects designed to increase public access to quality outdoor recreation opportunities. I think that's something
No, that
that's
would be perfect for
important.
what
Yes.
we would like.
Recreational passport grants support local units of government. This has got to be our government, and that's what we are, that are applying for this, and the efforts to offer their residents and visitors quality recreational opportunities. Applications come out in January, and we have to be done, have everything in before April.
Okay.
So, and we kind of have to move on this.
Can I make a suggestion?
Yes.
I looked into this stuff. And actually, they have the DNR Recreation Grant Workshop coming up in Lansing on January 18th. There's actually the Michigan Natural Resources Trust and Fund Program. There's the Land and Water Conservation Fund Program. There's the Recreation Passport Program that you're talking about, and the Invasive Species Grant Program. This workshop will actually walk you through to apply for all these grants for the Parks and Recs, which is way more than 75,000. They go up to millions. My recommendation is if someone wants to go and learn how to do this is only a 2-hour workshop that they put on to show you how to apply for every single one of these grants.
That's pretty impressive.
I'm already planning on going to that.
That one?
Yeah.
Okay. So that
with a couple other people.
we should look at doing all these grants.
Well, see, the other grants, I looked at some of the other ones, the waters and land one.
Yep.
That's a 50% match.
Yep.
So that's gonna be asking even more from the council.
Mhm.
You're not real familiar with how the council works yet, but.
Well, there's no
we're-
point, we
we're
should at
worried
least
about you
try
20 well,
versus not try, and
There's
we
a
gotta
new
get the,
council.
we should look at every avenue, look at what funds we can try to bring in, and at that point, make a decision on if we have the funds to match. But if we're not gonna try, then,
Yeah.
you know what I'm saying?
And,
And the waterway is a big issue.
yeah,
So a lot of these, and I've been talking to the person that runs these things, they do a lot with the waterways, they do a lot with the dams, they'll fix the dams, they'll do a whole bunch of fishing reserve stuff for it, if you get approved for the grant. So my suggestion is why not go to the workshop, try to apply as many as we can. If we get approved, then we can bring it up to the council, we can make a voting decision if we do want to match funds or whatever the case may be.
one of the differences between that, like the water one, it's not water, it's just called water and land, something that we certainly could apply for and qualify for. The rules are a little bit stiffer, the requirements are a little bit stiffer going into that. There's more things that we have to get done. And when I look at this and I see that we have to have it done before April, I'm thinking, okay, we're gonna have our hands full just even if they only do one. And maybe we need to plan ahead for next year and get stuff lined up before we try for a bigger one.
I believe the first
Asking for
priority should
surveys.
always be, what do we want? We need to plan,
Right.
make our full plan from start to finish, including the flower beds, the lamp posts, the park benches, every inch of our actual design plan,
So that we should have one.
where do we want the money to go?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Um,
I've only got enough. in-
Yeah, that's fine, yeah, I think I've got one from the village council. Yeah, I mean, but my concern,
I don't think we have one like that.
It's just the Parks and Rec master plan.
I have,
That does not look like what we
Well,
received.
I'm
That's all I'll
sure we have a
say.
couple people missing from the meeting there, so we're gonna need them.
If we apply for the larger one,
Yes.
where you
That's at
can
home.
use matching
Well, Jackie suggested.
labor and all
That's
that,
good for them.
that would work probably
Just
good
print it out
for,
from-
'Cause I still need to have them for
we
the
could-
organizing.
the labor part would
Right.
be, easy for us to get to.
I guess my take on this, and I apologize, I'm new to this kind of stuff, but talking to some other, other places that did parks and recs is, and I love the downtown park, I like the layout. Problem is I feel that there's little things that get put in there that we'll probably have to take out if we end up going through some master plans, right? Like just, like the bike rack thing that's there, like if, that's probably gonna get torn up because we're gonna do the drainage, right? And that was just
Why
put-
would it get torn up?
Well, we don't know, because that drainage thing might go right in the middle of the basketball courts, right? So I'm just saying,
The dam.
well, yeah,
Right, they
yeah,
hear the dam.
I'm just saying, do we have an actual fine line of what we want to do? And instead of we'll put something here and then come back in and put something here. Because for me, I feel, coming as a resident, I want to scrap the whole park and start from scratch, just like Davison did. That's my take.
Yeah, well,
And,
I guess-
and work,
I
and
second
then,
that.
I guess experience here tells us that sometimes when you try to take too big a bite, you don't get anywhere. And we do have a plan in here.
right,
And we do definitely have steps to fulfill in our Parks and Rec plan that have been on the books for years and reapproved every time that the plan gets approved. And one big one is having the entrance come from downtown.
right, into the park, which I like that. But then have you also considered the fact that they do come in and have to repair the dam, and some of that might get tore up?
What if, all kinds of things.
But that's what I'm saying is, what I would say, let's start with the main infrastructure, which is gonna be based around that river, no matter what. That's gonna be the main infrastructure. Get that taken care of if we have something that would help us apply for $1 million grant.
Okay, so you're talking about the whole dam structure.
Well, the river, the dam, whatever you wanna call it, there's ways to make it a fishing area. I'm just shooting out ideas, I'm not saying let's do that, I'm just saying.
Well, let's point out that the biggest change in this Parks and Rec plan is the $2 million
$2 million
dam
for the
project.
dam.
That is the only real major change in this plan.
Yeah.
That's us, we're the Parks and Rec. That means we are now in charge of a dam.
Cause I'd hate to
That
put
we
that
have a committee
swing
for.
set there, whatever, the bench, by the river, but then all of a sudden, guess what, we're scooping out that whole river, and now we gotta move that again, or whatever. You know what I'm saying?
I
That's,
think, but this argument we've heard for 10 and 20 years,
Yeah.
and that's why things don't get done. But, Jackie is applying for grants
Mhm.
for the dam, for the whole.
She is.
That's, the river thing is all a part of that, yes, she is. That's a much larger thing. I don't know that we necessarily are equipped to do that. That engineering and stuff has been done, and that's, Jackie's dealing with that.
I guess, we'll have to bring this over to the council meeting, because I don't think that's even been brought up to the council meeting, that we applied for grants.
You're not even allowed to talk about the dam, let alone be applying
So-
for grants on your own.
That may be why she can't.
Yeah.
It could be.
She can't just go
Because of the-
apply for
But what do you-
Because
I
of the
mean-
legal thing.
I don't know, what is your take?
What is my take? One, I think money is an issue.
Right.
I mean, to talk and say, in theory, scrapping the whole park and starting over, brilliant. However, if that could be done, it would have been, because there's a lot of people that want more to that park. Like my kids have outgrown that park
Right.
now. My kids never wanted to go to that park. There wasn't anything for them to do there. They want to go to the school because there's more play equipment there at the school. They want to go to Davison because there's a bigger park in Davison. So that's what we did. Now, with applying for grants and stuff, I don't see, I'm not gonna, in the McCafferty house, if I'm looking for outside money that I'm gonna get for free, and there's the possibility that I could get this money, I wouldn't ask permission to apply for them. I would try and do it, get it,
Thank you.
and then say, hey, we applied for this grant, we got it. However,
If required.
if we need to, before we can accept it, it is gonna require X amount of funds up front, or we have to match this amount of money, and then bring the argument to the table, instead of, oh, we can't, we shouldn't be, we shouldn't do that because nobody talked about it. We're talking free money. We're not talking that we're gonna have to spend something. That to me, I think anything that's gonna be spent needs to be discussed prior, if it's, an astronomical amount of money. But if we're just looking to pick somebody's pocket to get the hope of some free money where we can do something, absolutely. I think every penny that we can get, that like taxpayers, that the village, that businesses, that somebody else doesn't have to put out is a solid idea.
Because we can always turn them down. If the council said, no, we don't have this money to get matched to water and
Right,
woods.
yeah, we got
They-
$1 million grant, you have to come up with 500,000.
Yeah.
Sorry, it ain't gonna happen.
I'm a strong believer that grants aren't even on our radar yet, because no matter what grant, no matter where you're trying to get money, they want to see that you have collaborated, that you have put in the plan, you have the statistics. We aren't doing that. Yeah.
What we're
it's
asking
vague,
for
and
is
you
in
know how
our,
vague
what we're
that is.
asking for is in our Parks and Rec plan, and has been for many years repeatedly put back in there because we haven't been able to get it. We've applied for grants for it before and never been able to get it.
Well, I think
This
that's
is the
where the
requirement they're
disconnect
asking.
is coming from, is that it keeps just getting reshuffled. Nobody's action planning here. It's
That's what
just,
we're doing right now.
well,
So,
How
Well,
are
you're
it's
you?
just putting up roadblocks is more what I feel like. I don't want to chase grants just for the sake of chasing grants and then thinking of a project to do. I want to say, this is our community's dream wish list.
Yeah.
How do we figure out how to
have
finance?
you ever been to like, and I'm gonna go to like a school board situation, like, not Goodrich's house, the other one. But, have you ever been to like, when Lapeer did their football stadium, right? They had this design brought up, engineered up, the cost was done, they had to actually put on this huge poster board for the whole community to see, this is what we want, this is how much it's gonna cost, and this is when our funding expects to happen, like, and they just raised money for 2 years straight. You know, it was like $4 million,
And the
right?
people here want to give.
And so I'm just thinking if we had some kind of visual for our community that, maybe that's great, and that we take that, and to me, you throw that in front of my face as someone that lives in the village, I'm like, okay, what does that give me, right? But if I see something, this is what it's gonna look like, this is what it's gonna cost, it's gonna have this, this, and this, and it's actually in front of me, it's a visual thing, raise my taxes, I don't care, right? I want that. I'm just saying, you're not giving anybody anything tangible to actually go for it right now. You're just kind of like, let's put a bench here, let's put this here, let's put this here.
But right now, that's all that they can do.
Right, but I'm saying, but we're spending money where we could be hoarding that
Parks and
into.
Rec. That's all you can do.
Right.
There's no, the village hasn't set aside but maybe $800 for anything.
Right.
To do anything, so how can you, I mean, you can have this great idea and you can have this huge plan,
Right.
but I don't know, if you can build a park for $800 with what's in the
on
bank right
SimCity,
now.
it's really easy.
Right, and if you can do that, fantastic. And I get, having people, a lot of people are visual. They like, I'm more of show me
Right.
numbers and data. That's just how I'm wired. But to see something, yes, a lot of people are that way. Would people donate to something like that? Maybe, I don't know.
Depends on what the idea is.
Exactly.
I mean, I don't know if I would or not, depending on what is in that park. Is it gonna be, who is it going to cater to?
Exactly, yeah, you gotta.
It has to, you have to bring, diversity to a park. It can't just be for little ones. It can't just be for, people to go for someplace else to sit.
Right.
But when she applies for the grants, she has to have a project, right? You just can't say,
Right, yeah.
$75,000.
I guess that's what the head button is like, okay, what's the project outline, does it match what we want to do, and does it make sense, is it feasible to actually raise money for that project? Because like, to raise money for something like, to apply for the grant, to put steps that's going down, I think that's great, don't get me wrong, but at the same time, is it something that, what else can we do besides that? Can we also apply for multiples and do the whole project at once, where we fix this part and go into it?
Well, that's part of something that was told, Andrea Hudson, I think, she's in your neighborhood. Her mother is from Sandusky, and they put in a splash pad in their city center or something, and I forget what the price tag was on it, but she actually said they didn't want to deal with the grants. There were so many rules and follow-up surveys and follow this and do that. And she said the support and the outpouring from the community wanting something to change and be good was so tremendous that it was just a huge change for their whole
Yeah.
community.
And I think-
it wasn't about grants.
As a council member, a new council member, and I think a lot of and one of my things that I want to change is get some more voice from the community. I know things have been 20 years, you guys say it's hard to get anything done, but I mean, when Dan goes in front of the school board, when I watch these videos, people care. If you give them something to care about, they care. Their parents up there left and right. If you give them something they want, they're gonna express their opinion. So my plan is to change that stereotypical type and get the people to want to do stuff in the village. So I do think that, getting bigger supporters, our businesses, the parks, recs, the Good Times and Goodrich, get supporters. I've talked to a lot of business owners that live around here, and they would love to put money down there and support giving to the Parks and Rec. But I don't think we've actually gone knocked on the door and said, hey.
But I think it all starts with going back to the basic idea that everybody supports. So we've got to have people from the outside, also ourselves, coming up with the ideas to say, here are the things that we'd like to see. So I mean, I get that we want to have a great park and a long-term project plan, but you've got to have the elements in it, and I don't know who's proposing those elements. I'm missing the boat here a little bit, I guess.
Well,
'cause-
how about if we started, like, our future goals are to start, let's set up public hearings where we can have a nice big map, you know, where people can come in and look, maybe set them up in the spring, or even if we have to wait till good times and Goodrich.
What have
or
we done in the
something.
past, though? Haven't we
We've
done a
had
survey?
We've had public meetings, we've had surveys. Every survey, people want an entrance in the park. Every survey, there's certain things that they always want in the park.
Have we documented what the key ones in here are?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay.
But we don't just want them to fill out a paper and ship it to us to do the work. We need them to feel like their hands are in it. We need their input, we need them to be here at these meetings talking about.
I think that's Angie's thought too, because when you talk about grants and stuff, kind of easy to go and talk about a grant and get the paperwork, but then you gotta have someone fill it out, and then once, if you do get it, then you have to have all the planning behind it to make sure it actually can happen. And that becomes the tougher part of the deal.
And let's be realistic. How many people, I think the most people I've seen at a Parks and Rec meeting has been 4.
3 of them were your kids when you brought them.
The most people
Right,
come to watch
so,
it.
I mean,
Right.
you
Or
can lead a
right.
pig to the trough, but you can't make them eat.
So I think step one is.
So-
Well, he brought pizza.
I do believe that's a huge part of being a proper leader, is how do you rally the masses?
Yeah, and I like your
And,
thought on that, getting people involved.
Well, that's what I'm proposing the next council meeting, is that I'm gonna be doing town halls
Yeah.
quarterly. So, and trust me, I'm gonna be knocking on doors. So,
I'll knock on them
and
for you
those
too.
town halls are gonna be, you know, peer, we're gonna have coffee, we're gonna have cookies. We're not gonna have like a little meeting where you call it, where we're just gonna sit in circles and we're gonna talk. And I'm gonna start driving these, I've already had business owners that said, let me know when it is. Let me know when it is. And then,
Speaking of the business owners, the Downtown Development Association or Authority is really something that I think all of us could be researching and trying to understand, because that is a driving force for communities that are revitalizing their downtown areas. It funds it, it isolates dollars for it, it involves the business owners where they have a valid say, and they're already stakeholders in our community, but they don't get a say.
Can I say something? Before this Parks and Rec Committee was formed, we had Goodrich Village Volunteers, which we still have. But we went and we knocked on doors. I was involved in that then. We went and knocked on doors, businesses. A lot of the businesses contributed to what little we have in the
Right.
park. So, I mean, I understand your idea of saying we want to go to the businesses and, you know, Tim says, I got people that are involved. But they're not going to build your whole park, I don't think, especially because they did make some very generous
Right.
contributions. We even had people from Ortonville, businesses from Ortonville that contributed to that.
Yeah.
So, I mean, it's all a good pipe dream, so to speak.
Well, that's the thing, they feel like
but-
they have no say in anything.
Well, but they did have a say, but I mean, how many times do you, my point is, how many times do
you go
you
back to
keep
them?
going
Right.
back to them? I mean, the doctor's gonna say, hey, look, I gave you $200, what do you want now? I mean,
200,000.
Well, that's-
you know, I mean,
That's the difference in making it, these little changes and making it a drastic, grand difference.
Our businesses
because
are
it changes.
small. They
Yeah.
can't, people are coming and knocking on their doors all the time for stuff.
Right.
Talk to business owners, they can't afford this kind of
Well,
stuff.
That's what
I
I'm
think-
saying,
and I
we've
think,
got to
uh,
show them it's the reinvesting
Right.
into making
We
it
don't have to
thrive.
show them how to do their business.
And-
No, no, no.
And do they, and do we, I mean, it doesn't have to necessarily be Goodrich Village businesses, it can be Alice Township. I think we should start partnering with Alice Township as much too. I mean, we can expand that.
Well, I think there's nothing wrong with going out and getting people to get more involved, and if they can contribute, I think that's a great idea.
Yeah.
But, you know, at the end of the day, we gotta make sure we've got the people lined up to be able to get the work done too,
Right.
that's important.
Dan's got that taken care of.
Well, it-
So, you know, like in talking to people, I mean, the people who are fine with what's happening and what's going on, that's why they don't come. They're fine with it. You know, yeah, you know, I elected people, they're there to make the decisions.
Right.
I did my part by coloring in the box at the voting booth. let them run with
Right.
it.
The
Yeah,
project,
some people don't have time
If
to
they're not happy,
come.
they'll
They
do
don't
a different
have
box
time.
the next time, that's the problem.
the projects that the volunteers do around the village, we get heavily complimented by them all the time. People don't come around, with very, very few exceptions, people don't come around and say, really, that was a waste of money and a waste of time. They think anything that gets done is great,
Mhm.
anything. Our topic right now, though, is this grant.
And when you talk the grant, if we need to fill out the grant papers, then I think we need to sort of figure out what we want to use the money for.
Yes, we have a
And they-
very short window here
Exactly.
and a lot of work to do before we can turn this in. And now, all this conversation can take place over the next year, you know?
We can get all the people to help us when we need to match the funds.
Yeah.
Come on and help. You can bring a
Sure,
shovel.
we've got all year to find these people that are gonna come out of the woodwork and help
No,
fund this.
I like the grant thing, I like the thing, I say, if you are going to this workshop,
Do them all.
do them all.
It's,
As long as it- yeah.
it's one workshop.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I'm
Yeah.
saying, there's
Yes.
4 grants here, let's do them all.
Because there's another project too that I know Shannon and I were sort of the,
And if you can't, I mean, that's fine, I can get my grant person to go, you know,
Yeah.
figure that out,
Yeah.
you know.
the village actually owns property on the pond. And we thought about doing like a little pond overview type thing, put a bench there and.
Right, a
you
bench,
know,
a picnic table,
Yeah,
I
maybe a
mean,
fishing pad,
We
you
can
know?
use the same passport grant, which is the easier one for us to apply for, given that we only have a couple months to do this, and that's why I keep focusing on this one.
Mhm.
We only have a couple months, there's fewer restrictions on this one, a little bit easier for us.
And it's said for disabilities
and-
too, and that would be
And it's,
perfect for
right, and
that.
we can apply for up to 3 on the same passport grant and make it a wish list. This is our first choice, this is our second choice, and this is our third choice. We can do that, apply 3 times. So we could apply for the entrance ramp down into the park. It's not steps, by the way, it's
Well,
a
yeah, whatever
handicap
it is, yeah.
accessible, and it has to go back and forth. Well, we have plans for that. We can apply for that as our number 1 choice. Then we can apply for the lookout, the overview on the pond, where we have property on the pond, that we really need to put something there so the public can use our pond.
Right.
It's in the master plan as well. That would be something easy probably to get a quote on by someone, and then we've got the DPW to go in there and do some of the, labor. We could do that as a second grant request.
Mhm. The water
In
in
case
the
one
woods.
didn't work, the other one could work, and that would be an easy grant to write up to.
Is there,
The walkway would be
setbacks or
hard.
whatever for that? Like, for building on a piece of land, you have to be so many feet from the edge or whatever?
Well,
you're
with
saying?
out on the water, I mean, the lookout would be.
No,
on
because
the
like
pond.
some people I know put docks in and stuff out there, and I don't think there's any restrictions on that.
The water's this deep.
Yeah, I know, not very
The
big.
water's just like this deep.
Or mucky.
It would just be an overlook, and then you'd landscape the property there, you had the
Right.
picnic table there.
When's the
you know.
Stick a
deadline for
bench or a
It'd be
picnic
handy.
table.
Yeah, it'd be
Mhm.
handicap
April?
accessible.
April, it has to be in by April.
Yeah.
According to this, it says, suggested timeline for rec grant planning. Create the recreation plan now through January. Draft the plan available for public by January 28th. Locally adopt recreation plan and grant management approval by March 1st, and application deadline April 1st.
But the workshop's not even until the 18th, so.
Yeah, I mean,
it's
there's-
gonna be after.
We don't
Right.
have to wait for
Yeah.
the workshop.
Well, this is just a
Right.
general,
I'll be in
grant in
Lansing
general.
every day, I
yes.
want you to know.
You're gonna be in Lansing that day?
And I think before you got
I'm-
here,
I'm
she had mentioned that we're
actually
gonna have to schedule
ready to
another
go to school,
meeting
so-
Oh, yeah, you can
prior
bring
to
it then.
February.
Oh, yeah, oh, no.
Well, Jackie,
Yeah, that's like a light right there.
But if she's there, I can
making
show
up
up,
projects to
stop
spend it
over
on
for a
instead
little
of
bit.
Dan, what are your thoughts?
planning and then looking for funding.
We created this master plan, and there's plans in here. If you want to create a vision, there's one in here, and if you want to make it a visual object, we'd like some money from council.
Let's do it.
To do it.
draw a
And it's
Council's got no
here.
money.
Another thing,
There's
Hold on,
money
hold on.
on a Parks and Rec line.
So you have this is.
Yeah, see, I see
Yeah.
that.
Great.
Right.
If we could make a 3D
Yeah.
audit and sell this
Yes.
and get money for this, I would love that thing.
Oh, that water thing?
Yes, that would be.
Dan, now you're talking Tim language.
That would.
I would like to get that designed and what the projected cost to do that and put that on a poster.
Sure, and apply for a grant and get it. That's a great idea.
That's exactly what I'm talking
But
about.
that right there,
That's-
isn't that, when they
Except-
take the dam down, they're talking about putting that in? That's what I thought.
There was three
That
different
was-
plans.
That's what I
was gonna say,
thought.
That involves sediment testing.
Yes.
could
I
be-
can't remember. There's three different ones. Isn't there three different makeups there?
Whatever these
No,
three
they
are.
only
Yeah.
put
Sure.
one in the plan.
Oh, I got all three at home. I got
That
the
was
same
the-
thing.
that was
It's a new way
the
to
end
do
they
a
took the
spillway,
dam.
a nice way to do a
Yeah.
spillway.
Correct.
Yeah.
It is,
Yeah.
except for the problem is, we need a grant just to do the studying and the pre-engineering.
Yes, we do.
before
Right,
can-
but I think,
and
that's what
first grant we
I think you hit it on the head. You hit it on the head. This is what we want to do. What does it cost to do
Yeah.
that? Put it, and what does it look like?
Yes.
And
that's
then
good.
put it on. That's exactly.
But
But
there are-
it shouldn't prohibit us from, because this has nothing to do with the walkway down there. I think the walkway
No,
or.
I'm just saying,
or
don't do
not-
something where you have to knock
Across
it
the
down.
street.
I agree, we should not. But if, we shouldn't wait. If we wait 2 years to get a grant, then we just missed an opportunity to get a grant. If we get a grant, that's great, we should be able to spend the money, do what we need to do. I think that, quite honestly, I think the dock, we can do that without interrupting anything, because that's just a plot of land.
Yeah.
That's what we have, it's never getting any bigger, it's never gonna get any smaller, that's what we have.
Exactly.
We put that first, get that observing deck out there and put it out there, we have it at $75,000. I hope to God it doesn't cost that much. But man, I don't know, marble,
No.
some marble.
You don't
out
have to
there.
walk. It actually escalates you out there.
But if we're getting guidance, we would like some guidance from the council saying, hey, this is what we want you guys to focus on. We will focus on it.
Well,
Right.
this is where I feel
The
like.
council has said that, that they want, because I've been there, that,
Yes.
yeah, that the Parks and Rec, they have us to deliver something to them. I mean, is it council's, I don't necessarily know that it's council's job to plan a park for
Oh, that's what they-
Parks and Rec. That's exactly, that's what I just said.
I
and
need
that's why-
direction, because we could put all this together and you guys say,
Yeah,
nah, we
we
don't.
need our
So
Oh,
we
that's
just wasted all of
the
our
Right,
time.
way.
yeah, no, I get it. So, yeah, so let's,
So Dan, if you come to me on a meeting and the council and says, Tim, I need $800 to do a schematic of what's gonna cost me to, get this projected out there, then we vote on it and we,
and
whatever.
I believe that there is a line in the budget that has, I wanna say it's roughly $800 for Parks and Rec. It's already planned for. We shouldn't have to beg to use that money.
Well, we have to back up because everything has to go through the planning commission, I think by law.
No.
There also, another thing we could use that large amount for is to, remember we talked about restrooms?
Yeah. Well, we got a river, so.
I don't know.
Angie,
much
I'm
about
sorry,
That's a
that.
whole water. that's a
Angie,
whole-
I'm sorry, why
that's a
did you
water
say no?
issue. What?
When I said I do believe by law it has to go through the planning commission.
Everything we do doesn't go through the planning
In
commission.
regards to deciding on putting in a dam or,
Oh, well, yeah, that does, yeah.
okay.
Let's-
You said, I said
You just
everything.
said no and turned away, so I didn't.
Well, I said no,
understand what you were
everything.
knowing.
I said everything it doesn't have to go through the planning
Yeah, we
commission.
put a fence up there, that's good.
So who's gonna take this before the council and ask for the,
Tim,
You said
What
it.
do we?
Do I- do I-
I'm looking for bodies, that's all I'm curious
We
about.
I-
don't have to
the thing
ask the
is-
council for anything yet.
once we get
No,
the, we have to
what we're
wait to
saying is we're
get it.
trying to, yeah, get the money so we can actually do,
Yeah.
something. So, I'm with you on your agenda, I think, yes, go, definitely like getting the grant, I think, look at all of them while we're there, might as well. And then,
So
That-
we're talking about a grant for a pathway into the park.
yeah,
A second application for an overlook on the pond.
Mhm.
We could do a third application for our other park
Yes, that other one.
with trails, nature trails. That's probably not gonna be a hard
By
one
the
to get an
cemetery.
estimate
Okay.
on either.
I didn't even know there
That's
was
right
one
behind Tim Knight's place.
okay.
Well, I must have missed a lot of meetings.
And then,
And all three of those are in the Parks and Recreation Plan. And these grants, anything you do for these grants, you have to have an up-to-date Parks and Recreation Plan with that in the plan. And those three items are all in our Parks and Recreation
Okay.
Plan. Has to be up-to-date Parks and
Who's
Recreation
working on
Plan.
the grant? who's gonna put that and write that all out and do all that work?
Well, I have a feeling it'll be me and Jackie,
Well, if you have, I mean,
and I've talked to
he has a
Jackie
readily
about it.
available grant writer too, so,
Yeah.
I mean,
And I've talked to Jackie too about getting, you remember when we got this, little thing about
Jackie's a really
the,
good grant writer.
about the
Is
walk-up?
she? I don't know.
I've been told.
What's that?
Who?
Jackie.
Jackie in the day used to get grants left and right.
Oh, did she?
She's,
That's
yeah,
cool.
she's,
Remember, we got this little schematic about the walkway from the dam. Jackie and I have already talked about this, the grant, and she's going to ask Wade Trim. They gave us a price on this before, remember the price of what, however it was 20 years ago, and then 10 years ago, or whatever it was, which is on the back of it. She's gonna ask Wade Trim to come up with, they give us a new price estimate to do this, and she believes they'll do it for no charge. She's going to ask them this. If they do that for no charge, then they'll give us a new price estimate on what this costs. And that plan can be broken down, and she'll have them break it down into section estimates too, so we don't necessarily have to do the whole thing. We can do part.
You talking about this thing?
Yeah, that's
The walk.
from the commons.
yeah, from the top.
On the back side of that same piece of paper, Tim, is the price estimates, but they're old price estimates,
Can we get
because we've applied for it numerous
some of
times.
these files about the park and the survey? I've been asking, like a broken record for a copy. Like, I heard that there was a grant that was applied for, we never got.
There's a tree there.
Because of,
Well, I
like, for
thought-
something
well,
like
I was
that,
told-
because
I
of
was
being
told
a
originally,
floodplain,
this is
and
like
I asked for a
basketball
copy,
courts
I have
here,
not seen a copy of that.
Some
I have
of,
not
This is
seen a
like that.
survey yet of any of
Dams
them.
over
and-
here.
some of that stuff, from my
Yeah,
understanding,
so
was
the
when
was
the
this courts here
offices
like
were
this?
in
See, I was
the
told.
post
I
office
heard from
were flooded and,
Well,
And
I was
then it
told that
pops
when
up
they
in
do the
Angie.
drainage, they have
After all
to dig
this
up
time,
the
after
entire
Yeah, no, I think,
board, go just like this.
Frustrated.
Oh. might as well just
in
backwards.
one of the council
So where's the river?
meetings,
Where's the
we
river?
were given
Oh,
that
okay.
idea of it.
Yep, okay. So river, basketball courts, so they
If
have to
he
dig
keeps
up
his
basically
stuff,
drainage.
I don't know.
Oh, he keeps everything.
Basketball courts.
So he should have it in there.
I
Okay.
choose not to be this person.
Well, you can ask him for, hey, dig through all that and find that.
I'm annoyed because we asked for it.
I just
Yeah,
about just
like
letting them
you said, do it in sections. Oh, the shed over here. This is the whole park, right? Yeah, so if we did it in sections though, we don't know the drainage, it's not here.
And it's gonna take a minute for it to turn on.
that grant Sandy approval from, I think we fully applied for it, it's all spent.
That was just general grant rules.
It's just like general process.
Like, wondering how many times we try to get it, we get it, and then we say no.
Right, how many times do you say no before they say this one? Yeah, but I mean, if there's like a 50% match, and
25, yeah, so we have
yeah, something, right, something we use those. Right, we have to get everybody on board for the reimbursable portion of it. That's
I think when you said that you said that Genesee County Metropolitan, we were covered. I think we could probably get one of their funding.
And then we could go for one gravitation to
But all of a sudden, everybody wanted to network and help each other, and know each other's problems, and all guide each other. And I don't think we need the village that network that also,
Yeah,
Parks and Rec.
a workshop would be, a workshop
There,
would
you
be
have
good.
your access.
get someone to come in and talk to us about it, and
fishing ramp,
get a better grasp on it.
I'm
Yeah,
thinking
I
of
think
the
so.
one guy
Yeah,
that I saw that
exactly.
works there, did it for the parks and, or the.
It's not a
bike
very
path.
big area, so it wouldn't.
And I remember him kind of showing
But that doesn't
how
have a big area,
to
and they
choose your
use that for
priorities in a fair
crazy.
manner,
I love it.
and,
That part
you
is
know,
beautiful.
when this needs to be made, how to think about ahead of time while you're doing it.
Sure.
How to get survey results
I
better.
mean, right now in town,
The survey
you know,
we're
it's all
using only has
cement,
less
so
than
there's no way to
100
get down to it. So
responses.
this way, at least
Out
it'd
of
be somewhere
1,300
they can
registered
get to
voters,
it,
you
you know?
have less than 100 survey
So
results.
I would like for
That's
someone
not a fair
to
picture
address the
in the
council
statistical world, but.
and ask for the money.
But again, you can,
Well, I
you
think
know,
we
you can
should
tell
make
people to
kind of
do
point
it, but you can't
Here,
make them do it.
About this.
So, I mean,
grant.
it is, it
We
ultimately
talked about a
ends
lot
up
of
being, it
bigger
is
things,
what
a
it
lot of
is.
Rejection, but
Right.
we have to do one
Got
You know,
that.
as
step at a
sucky
time.
as it is.
Because we
Alright.
talked about
What's
getting
the,
rid of the
what's the
basket.
next thing on the
Yeah,
Let's bring
I
it
got a
back.
birthday party to get to.
Okay, so you
I
guys,
lost track.
I
okay,
want cake.
back to the, back to
I'm not gonna lie.
back to the passport grant. Okay, so shall we apply for the DNR's passport grant and make 2 or 3 requests on the passport grant? The walkway is our number 1 request. They'll take it in the priority. They'll give us the number 1 unless they don't want the number 1. If they don't agree with the number 1, that's when they'll go to our number 2 choice or our number 3 choice. As an entity that hasn't gotten grants before, that's in our favor. It hasn't gotten grants from them before, that's in our favor. And there's a lot of other stipulations that go with this, you know, all of which would be expected, you know, maintenance, if they give you money for this, you have to maintain it. You know, of course, you have to be accountable for everything that happens. If you have cost overruns, they're our responsibility, not their, you know. What they give us is what they give us, and that's it. All of those things would be with any grant. But, so, shall we apply for this grant? And shall we make the walkway our number 1 choice down at number 1?
I'm okay with that.
Yeah, I think so.
I support
So
it.
too.
I want the observatory field first, but what everybody wants, because that's a no-brainer. I mean, that one's there. It's
Yeah.
never gonna get disrupted.
I changed my mind, I don't want that.
But
I mean,
just going,
That's a good idea.
Yeah, no, I mean, and that may be something, because, I mean, what if, you know, I mean, there's
I didn't
always
think
gonna be
about
a
that
what
chicken
if,
part again. You're
but
right.
what if they come back like the other people did and say, oh, it's in a floodplain, we're not gonna give you the money for that.
Then they would.
And
Then
then,
you go number 2 then, right?
right, but then would they seriously look at number 2, or would they look at somebody else's number 1?
That's what I'm,
They said they would look at.
I'm honestly a complete no vote on even applying, because you do get points, and it is a whole game that I believe we need bigger heads than ours. I do believe we have to talk to the county Parks and Rec seriously and plan, because they categorize you, and you get points based on how much public support. Like, there's all these little tiny things that you do to rank yourself up higher. And I don't think we've done that yet. I don't think we've done the planning to
but
the extent we
if we get
should.
turned down, then they turn us down. And
But
that's-
it can hurt us in the
If-
long run, in the scale of our entity.
If we go for a grant and they say, no, you guys don't have enough this, and this, then for the next year, we go, all right, that's what we need to get.
We'll go again.
But if we get it, we get it. I mean, if we wait another year, we've just lost
You don't know what
another
to
year.
fix, that's not, we don't know what's broken.
Right.
That's why I think that one is the
No, I like what, I like
deck
your
idea
saying.
is the best
Yeah.
one, because it's the easiest one, and it's by itself, and there's not much that can go wrong with that, because it
The
is what
overlook,
it
are you
is.
talking about the overlook?
The overlook, yes.
Well,
Yeah, but
there's
so-
also
think
4
that's
other
good.
grants we can, 3 other grants we can go for.
Yeah,
We
we
can
can
use
always put our head
one
in
of
the,
that
we always
for
put our
one
head in
of
the
those,
basket.
too.
And I agree what you're saying, I agree what Dan's saying too. It might hurt us, but it only hurts us for that one moment, and then if they say, you guys aren't well organized, then we come back and say, what do we gotta get to be well organized?
There are-
Right,
like-
but now they're the same people looking at our application the next time.
Correct, and if we've made those changes, like, man, these guys really paid attention.
Exactly.
I've
That's what I
tried
think.
grants before,
Okay,
I've been
I
above
can
the grants,
respect that.
and they say, if you say you guys work this year, work on those things, you come back next year, say, look at these guys really
They're
worked
really
hard on
working hard.
this.
It's
They
okay.
correct everything, let's give it to them this year, because they deserve it.
I can respect that.
And when I said Jackie's looking for grants, I misspoke. She was looking for grants for the vacant piece of property on the side of the village.
Oh.
So we were talking about both of the things at the same time. So we can't do anything with the dam yet because of the legal thing, right?
Now, what I remember being the concerns with that overlook was that it's only 40 foot wide. There are some trees in the area, making sure that we have full, complete right, and there's not any sort of consumer easement or anything that's in that area. And there is no parking because it's a dirt road, the fire hall route, no sidewalks. So I see a lot of no-no-nos from their perspective when they're looking at a full picture plan.
But it's right downtown though, so people can park in town and walk there.
I don't disagree, but I'm just, that's my hesitation. I like to do things where I am 100% knowing I'm doing it to the full tilt, max of what I can. And if I see shortcomings in it, that's my hesitation.
Each of these grants, so they don't go to the same people, do they? Because like she could put,
Well, no,
There's
she could
different
put
programs.
both of these on every one of those.
But the passport recreation grants is one grant. You can do 3 and they all go to the same place.
There's a land and water conservation fund program.
And that money comes from the federal government. It's
Okay, so that one, we could
administered
put the
through
same
state, but-
Yep.
thing on it
Yep.
then.
And then if you guys don't need invasive species in
Mhm.
wood waters, get that grant. I don't
But
know.
I think that you should do the largest with the most expensive one, the one that gives us the most money, and then put the second project down, and then go for the next one with the other
Yeah,
ones.
the walk into the park, the graduated walk into the park expands on what we've started there already with the entrance to the park.
Yeah.
There, it brings
Finish
people
that
down
up.
into the park, yes. It's on the other side of the park, away from the sewer lines that are coming, or the water lines that
Yeah,
are coming.
dam and all that.
No.
Oh, I'm very worried about that one with the dam, so.
The Huron Street Park, though, yeah, that should be one too. That's that overlook area.
Well, what about, it never mentions it in the Parks and Rec, but I had seen that the village owns that piece of property that I think is where the flagpole is at, on the other side where it's actually like, what is that, Park Drive? I'd like to check into that and see if the village actually owns that, because there's our public access.
No, I believe that's owned by the Hortons, that piece of property with the flagpole. That belongs to them. All that property belongs to the homes on the other side of Park Drive.
They have a little memorial there too, don't they?
I don't know about that.
Okay,
Somebody-
back on track here.
Interesting
Okay.
detail.
Okay, so I'm still not quite clear. Okay, we do want to apply for this grant, do I, or are we, how many
Do we
people do
vote?
we want to just flat out apply? How many people want to apply for this grant?
No, sorry, yes.
Okay, all but Katie, okay. Okay, so for the number one thing that we want to apply.
So
for-
we would have to have a 25% match for it?
Yes.
That we, do we
Not-
need the
not in
village's
money, though.
account?
That's not-
So do we need the council's approval to apply for it? too?
Yeah, we will.
I'd say ask for that for later on, ask for forgiveness later.
Mhm.
That's my theory.
We can't ask them for something that we haven't even decided that we want to do
I
yet,
mean,
so.
either they're
Right,
gonna say
'cause
yes or no.
right, it may not come to fruition.
But
At
I
least you
mean,
got your head, you know.
There's no penalty, you apply for a grant, you can always say no.
People apply all the time, and they get it, and they turn it down, and it goes to the next person in line. So,
yeah, but regardless, before we can even ask the council that, Katie, we have to decide what it is we want to ask them, so. But I do agree, we do need to let the council know about that. Okay, so, oh, yes. One no grant. Okay, so in this grant, what's the first project we want to apply for? Shannon?
I'm kind of on the board with Dan here with the overlook, since that's, like he was saying, it's easy.
Standalone.
Yeah, it's easy. There's nothing that, that there's not going to be any general construction in that area that could potentially destroy it or have to have it torn down.
Okay, so Shannon says
Overlook.
And there's also the third one, the what is that? Okay, Dan, which one do you want to do first?
Overlook.
Dan wants to do overlook. Tim?
same, over.
Sue?
No, I'd like the pathway. I think that with that amount of money, we should go for it. Go for something big. We'll eat it all up.
Jeff?
I'll go with Pathway, because I have a personal reason for that one.
Yeah, it's too hard to get down
So that's
there.
3-3.
I say we wrestle.
You just had pizza, I don't know.
Yes.
But you know, you're gonna apply for both,
We're
so.
not- We've got 3-3, but we have how many people missing? We got Doug missing.
I don't get a vote.
Ida?
Well, you said you were against it.
So I get no vote at all?
You, yes, if you want to vote, please do.
No, Ida votes for the pathway.
And Doug, I think,
Go pathway.
I'm guessing Doug is in halfway too. But,
No guessing.
Now,
Right.
we can't guess.
okay,
Yeah.
okay, so I will get their input too.
And then it's just a matter of which one is number one and which one's number two.
You still got a list.
Right?
Yeah, Katie should have to.
I really actually don't want to vote.
Well, you can't complain about voting and then not vote.
Just vote for the third thing, so.
What's your first choice, Katie?
Oh, man. Probably the Overlook, but if my kids would like that. And more so just because I'd like to see the full park plan, including the pathway, not just
I don't
another
think
piece of it.
there's not a bad answer either way.
Yeah.
But you're gonna put them both on the grant, just a
Yeah.
matter of
It's
first
just order,
priority
it's
and
just order.
second, okay.
So do we have to get everyone's vote, or is it just the people that are here? We got a quorum enough to get a pass? Or whatever?
We haven't really figured all that out
I'll
in the
talk.
last year yet.
I'll talk to Doug. We'll see.
Yeah, that's why I saw that, but I don't.
We've got 9 with you now, we've got 9 people on the
Yeah.
council.
And the wording here is perfect, what, you know, the Huron Street Park is the
Weren't there
overlook,
3
and
people
then the,
that are a couple
other
people that
wording
came
for
to
the
the
commons
council
park,
meeting
it's
that
right
said
in
they
there.
wanted to be a part of this
Okay,
committee. Were they
so-
even notified of this?
I don't know.
Do what?
There were people that came to the council meeting saying they wanted to be on this committee. Were they even notified of the meeting? existed?
Then, are we to non-agenda business?
Wait, yeah, we gotta move on to that, we gotta get,
There's our
because that's
second-
coming up,
Our
basically.
second choice. Okay, so we've got most people, we've got 4 people wanting
I
to
have that right
overlook.
here.
You need 5 to get a complete thing on here, but maybe we have a majority. We haven't asked Doug and Ida yet. Okay, and so what would you do your second choice?
My second one would be the walkway.
Me too.
The overlook.
Yeah. Do I just want the overlook?
I would say sediment
Do
testing.
your second
A
one?
walkway to
Yeah.
the.
Yeah, walkway to the overlook.
We should study the dam, so that we can move on to
Yeah.
that dam overlook and that dam stuff down thing. We'll never get to that if you don't start. the first
And
part.
Katie, your second choice?
What are my options?
Whatever you'd like.
Whatever you'd like.
I would say funding for the
Walkway.
for the dam study, a dam study.
All right,
Game study.
Dam study, that's my answer.
keep going.
Okay, so I think I've had everybody. Do we want to do a third?
No.
I think 2 is hard enough.
Yeah.
No,
Okay.
is that third
Can't even
one?
figure out.
Right.
Even if the
Right.
pathway or whatever it is.
Yeah.
Right.
Pathway's gonna be done. Okay,
All right.
okay, and so we will tell council that we made this decision. And there's a 25% grant, and that they're doing it.
Let's do it.
Okay, okay, now we're on to non-agenda business.
Non-agenda business, I've got, I was emailed from 3 people. I didn't make copies because I'm almost out of ink, I apologize. I was emailed from 3 people wanting to serve on the Parks and Rec Committee. Now, we agreed to 11 people on the committee, and currently, I think there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 of us.
Yes.
So we have 2 spots, we have 3 people. One of the people that sent me an email is Andrea Hudson, which I think you
We need her.
mentioned her. I put a star on hers only because she's, one, the main reason why I did it was because she's a business owner. And she could, hopefully, rub elbows
What
with some
business?
of the other businesses. An independent insurance agent / business owner. So I want to say it's probably one of the insurance companies here in town. I'm not, do you
Yeah,
know?
I believe she's over by the dentist office, the
Yeah.
dental
Oh,
office,
okay.
near Subway, the gas station.
LK Insurance Agency, property and casualty, producer / owner. So, I would say, her, if anyone, she's got, there's that. Well, we get to pick one more out of the two that are here. Another one was a Carla Fernald. She lives over on Fair Oaks. She is an occupational therapist. She says that she knows how vital good parks and rec committees are for communities. She would love to be part of building the programs. She's got a Bachelor of Science in Occupational Therapy. She's finished a master's in special education. And just more about her current job, but she provided interest on, let's see, January 12th at 8:50 a.m. And then on December 31st at, if we're gonna, if you don't know who to pick, then I guess like first come, first serve kind of thing, I don't know.
I don't think so.
But then there's Marissa Swartz. She is on Fair Oaks, stay-at-home mom, previous 4th grade teacher. She loves living in the village, feels that it lacks a park and activities for kids. And that I'd be happy with either.
There's more than that though, I know.
I just got those 3 that were emailed to me.
And it's the council that has to make a choice, though, not us.
I was gonna say.
We could recommend who.
Yeah, you could present.
I don't think
who
we
we
should
would pick.
discourage a single person, I think we should just tell them to come.
Well, they can come, but we have a limit of 11 people, we've said.
I think
And we
for-
have
for-
9.
We're talking about voting purposes, building, but they can come, but they can't vote. Something.
Well, people can always come to the meeting,
Mm-hmm.
but membership
Should we
is 11.
actually
Mhm.
set that, 11?
So-
Yes, we voted that.
So,
Does the
They're both
council
their
approve
neighbors.
it?
I know that Wendy Ciamarito that ran for
Next door to each
council
other.
also put her application, I was told, anyway. That's the only one that I knew about.
Okay,
Yeah.
that was mentioned at the council meeting, but it wasn't certain, we didn't vote anybody into Parks and Rec because we did not know for sure the number of committee members that were going to be present. So that was the holdup there. It was uncertain if it was 9 or 11. So that's why we didn't say
so
yay or nay on anybody.
is it basically the Parks and Rec to come up in front of the council and say, we would like to, these 2 people out of we have 5 candidates, these are the 2 that we like, to add on, and then we would vote as a council to say yes or no?
That's what I would think would happen.
Well, now we gotta talk about setting terms, now we've gotta talk about when, is there an attendance policy that you have to be at so many meetings? Because we're doing how many votes by email? What if all 3 of these people wanna show up to every single meeting and be active participants, and we're disregarding one of them?
Doug is almost always here at the
Well,
meeting.
I'm not trying to pick and, I'm
And
just
if Ida
saying,
has
I
to
don't
drop
want
off-
to say no to anybody.
If Ida has to drop off, she will. But we had this conversation, we've had it several times, and we set the cap at 11.
I know, I disagreed on that time. I still disagree.
Well, that will be who can vote, like you guys said, they can still participate at least in the meetings and
People can
and
come
have
to the
input.
meetings.
Right,
Yeah.
anybody can come to the
Right.
meetings,
Well,
it's voting, it's voting, I mean, we can't, I don't know, a committee is a set number of people. And it's, it's that same number of people who, present things to council to ultimately vote on. I mean, you can go, you can have input, anybody can raise their hand, have input, offer ideas. I mean, I don't think that anybody here would be against
Right.
hearing the ideas of people,
No
but
one knows about
again,
this meeting.
we've got,
I
two
don't think
people
there's that
now.
much value in it. I mean, there's so many committees, I could literally name probably 10 of them, where it's literally, anybody can be a member. Historical Society, anybody can be a member and show up that day.
This is a
and
government committee though, it's not a.
School coordination meeting
Why
with
we
the
pay
GISD,
village
the
council the
parent,
big bucks to.
Big
the
bucks.
Genesee County Intermediate School District Coalition. I mean, like I could literally list
sorry?
100 agencies.
Are you one of the people that applied to join the meeting?
No, I
You
saw this on the door, and so thank you for recognizing me. I was curious. I came in earlier today, and I was thinking this is a different, one of the different meetings, but it is the Parks and Recs
Yep.
that I have represented and responded to with the village. And I have a lot of other, I'm sure all of 5 kids, and my kids are all grown up, but it's just being here to catch up on what's going on. I was a PTO mother, and I recognize 2 women here. But it is a lot that's going on. Is this something I'm not supposed to be here to listen
Oh, no.
to?
No, that's what we decided.
We know it. We
Okay.
rarely get people, but you can sit up here, you don't need to sit back there.
Okay, well, see, and that's where I'm at, is just thank you for inviting me. It is, if I may,
Have some pizza.
no, that's okay. If I may, hear me loud. She hears me very well, and Paulette has, and Brewster Groshi, and it is the other part of counting.
Can I just want to.
Sorry.
I'm sorry, I want to interrupt one thing. We should probably finish.
What you were
agenda
doing on the
business
table, okay.
and
All right, go
comments
ahead.
after that.
Yep, okay.
Thank you.
So we can finish this up and then we'll move right on. It's gonna
Okay.
be next.
Well, all I know, Shannon, is the council typically appoints these. I don't know if we're supposed to suggest someone.
Okay, well, those were the people, those,
Yeah.
I mean, I thought that.
Well, you guys will have input because you're here, so.
I just want to make it a.
We'll bring it up, I'll bring it up Monday. Bring it up Monday, we'll talk about
Yeah, but
it.
I think you were on the email too.
Yep, we'll bring it up,
Yeah.
we'll,
Can I make a comment? Or is it at the end?
At the end, it's almost
Yeah.
Yeah, we're almost there.
Okay,
We're almost there.
no, it's about the number of people on the committee.
All right, is that the only agenda?
That was all I had from that agenda.
So, so how do you guys want to deal with this?
I
We'll
can,
talk.
I can take them back
We're
and
gonna take it to the
we
council.
can, we'll take them on Monday.
Okay.
just pick the 2.
Yeah.
Okay.
Do you guys agree with that?
Yeah, I agree with
Because
that.
that's what the charter typically, that's how it's typically done. so. Council Bryan.
Can we close the meeting?
Okay,
We need
public
public
comment? Public
Yeah, we need
comment.
Oh,
public
public
comment.
Okay, thanks. I don't know how much time I have, generally it's 3 minutes, but cut me if I what I am about, again, I'm a mother of 5 kids, and it is not very many people when I was coming into the school system were skilled. We're not skilled, it takes a village to raise each one of us. So when this mother with 5 kids moved out of the area and came back in, a lot has changed. It is our youth that need to be responsible. What I have done is I have brought it to the village in the front. And this is the other part of this. There is really no excuse that when somebody is on their drugs and has pain medication and prescriptions, and they don't understand that we don't understand you because you don't understand us. I'm giving this back to all of you so that if you want to take notes from me, I come from the Potawatomi clan, and I'm really working hard here as a mother. It's been very difficult for me to get other families to come out and talk to other kids. When we were working, you were volunteering in Goodrich at the village, and I support you. I support everybody here where we are with this to get other families to come out and work the master plan. Not very many families understand what the master plans are. And when we have these big packets, I have a packet, it's learning if